probably wondering why I don't look homeless for the first time in forever. And no, I am not going to sing that song from Frozen.
For the first time in forever.
So before we get into the topic at hand, obviously, I am wearing a suit. And this just happens to be a Marvel suit. And it happens to look marvelous on me. No, really though. Thank you to the guys at Fun.com who actually provided this for me. This is a official licensed Marvel suit, and if you look at it, Captain America shields on the insides, got a little handkerchief, Marvel certified Avengers suit. Essentially, you guys can pre-order these right now and get them delivered to you as soon as they're available. I will actually leave a link to their website in the description down below where you guys can check it out and know that this video is brought to you by this awesome suit and their website. So let's get to the topic at hand. Snazzy, I'm like a comic James Bond in this, you know? I look pretty badass. Take your measurements, they give it to you, and then you look spiffy. So with that in mind, I figured I'd pimp out the suit I got from there and talk about the topic at hand here, which just so happens to be about not Captain America. This one says, if Spider-Man Homecoming is successful, how much do you envision the narrative of the MCU to change post-Infinity War? So, that's a good question, and thank you a lot for posting it on our Facebook, where I asked for topics. Now, this is an interesting question, I'm glad you asked it. So, before we actually dive into the question itself, we have to kind of take a look at the MCU and where they stand. It's obviously a huge success, but that's not what we're going to be talking about here. What we're essentially talking about is the MCU going forward. Yes, they have Spider-Man, but what does that mean? You know, Sony still owns Spider-Man. Marvel has not regained the rights to him. He's still a Sony property, and Sony's never going to give that back. Make no mistake, that's a moneymaker. So we have to look at the deal that was reached with Marvel. And when you take a step back, you know, you're like, what does this deal say? You know, you kind of start to see what this says for the future of Spider-Man in the MCU. So we recently found out that Tom Holland, of course, has 6 contracts, and he's used up 2 of those. He's used up 1 for Civil War and 1 for Spider-Man Homecoming, which means he has 2 more MCU movies and 2 more Spider-Man movies. Now, the Spider-Man movies are handled by Sony. That's all Sony. Sony's money, Sony everything, but Marvel is lending a helping hand into structure the film franchise, where when he appears in the MCU movies, he's an extended cameo where they get to use him as they see fit. But he's still a Sony property, make no mistake about that. They're not the ones controlling everything. And when you think about that, no one is going to want to put the other character on the forefront of their franchise. Now, what I mean by that is, you have Spider-Man, right? And Marvel comes in there and they go, okay, well, we have Spider-Man back. What are we going to do with him? And they're not going to put him ahead of someone like Captain America or even Ant-Man because they don't own him. They're not making money from Spider-Man, right? And Sony, at the same time, is not going to go, well, we got Robert Downey Jr. in our movie and we're going to have Chris Evans in the next one, so let's put them on the forefront of our movie. That's not going to happen because that's not their property. They're just sharing these characters. Sony gets nothing by having Captain America in their movie, just like Marvel gets nothing from having Captain America in Sony's movie and vice versa. So when Spider-Man appears in Avengers Infinity War, Sony gets 0 pennies from that because it's just an agreement, right? So then to look at the further, you know, like the rest of the question, you could say, how much do I envision it kind of changing if they get Spider-Man? It's probably not going to at all. Just for the simple reason that they don't really own him. There's no reason for it. And let's be honest, Sony could at one point just decide, well, we want to do this and make some spin-off movies or some crap regarding Spider-Man that Marvel doesn't see fit. But guess what? Marvel has no say. It's a Sony property. So they could still out there and go, hey, Melissa Tomei, you want to do that Aunt May spy movie? What's Marvel going to do? Say, you can't do that. It's not their property, right? So it's a complex thing when you really think about it. And I want to read this part of the question again, and just so I can rephrase it. If Spider-Man Homecoming is a success, which it will be, it's going to be a huge success. It's a different Spider-Man movie than we've seen before, right? It's a different type of movie. It feels different. It's going to look different. It's going to be a high school movie. That's something completely different from the previous Spider-Man movies, but completely different from the MCU itself, which is once again great, right? And then you say, how much do you envision the narrative of the MCU will change post-Infinity War? And that's the big part of the question. I don't think it changes at all. There is no reason or pressure for Marvel to put Spider-Man at the forefront of their franchises when they made a success of the MCU without Spider-Man. So when you really think about that, everything that stands to be gained is all on Sony, right? Nothing is on Marvel. Marvel has proven that they can make Ant-Man and Guardians of the Galaxy a household name that makes more money than Spider-Man. So them to put Spider-Man above other characters that they're pushing forward is kind of just not going to happen. It's not feasible, and the guys at Disney, the suits, are going to go, well, why would we promote our rival's company when we can just make Wasp a household name? Which in 2 years she will be. So I don't think the narrative actually changes at all. And I think Marvel keeps doing what they're doing, and they're going to be a huge success regardless, because they're Marvel. And that's one of the most established brands in history of media now, and it transcends media. And if you have that, you're building the future. You're not building on the past. And as much as it might hurt me to say, and Spider-Man's one of the greatest of all time, Spider-Man represents the past. The Guardians of the Galaxy and Doctor Strange represent the future. And that's moving away from established brands that have been retold dozens of times in different media and giving us something new that we haven't seen before. Which is why so many people are willing to give things like Guardians of the Galaxy a try, because it's brand new. And for every person that says, I'm sick of reboots, that's the type of person that's going to go and see the brand new IP. And yes, you're always going to have those people that tune up and see every new Batman, every new Spider-Man, and every new X-Men, because that's an established brand and that's nostalgia. But at some point, 15 years from now, one of you might have a kid, and his nostalgia is going to be Doctor Strange and Ant-Man. And to him, Spider-Man is just a bygone era. So that's where it really stands. So hopefully that answers your question. Thank you for watching this video. And like I said, if you guys like this suit, check it out. Description down below. Maybe you can look as fancy as I do. Just think of that. I look fancy. What the hell has this world come to? God damn it, Barry. God damn it, Barry. Fucked everything up. Hey guys, Armin here, just reminding you that this video was made possible thanks to patrons. If you guys are interested in supporting us and making sure we keep the lights on, check out our Patreon where you can join other fans in supporting the CBC, delivering content you guys have come to love and expect. And if you can't do that, give us a like and a subscribe. That goes a long way too.